Hello, my people, my my fellow co-creators, Universal Divinity. How y'all doing? Are y'all manifesting God's essence? I believe you are. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Guys, it's me again. In this video, I want to reply to a question I have received from a comment. The question was, why does the body age? Why doesn't the body last 1,000 years? And why are we dying 80 years, 90 years, 100 years? And in this video, that is the question that I want to talk. That's the question I want to target. So thank you, Scotty. Thank you for that question because that question made me remember something that I experienced, and it goes hand in hand with this video. Um, what it made me remember the question is there was a time I went to Africa. My family, they're from a village called Amuma, and my folks, they felt the need to send us just to experience the culture. So, you know, I went overseas. I went to my village and I stayed there for some time. And one of the things that I will never forget about going to my village, Amuma, and the culture there is very different from here. Over here, everybody's ostracized from each other. Everybody's just separated. Over there, everybody knows everybody. It's shocking how the culture, how everybody is just so open and free towards each other. But basically, within the first 2 weeks, I don't know what they put, I don't know what day exactly, but within 2 weeks of me staying there, they had a burial. Some random family was having a burial. I didn't know who they was, but my cousins and my aunties and and everybody related to my family, they knew about this family um, that was doing the burial. So we went. So when I went there, they was passing out shirts, and on the shirt, they basically, how they do it is they will print the face of the person. They will say his name or her name, and under the person's name, they'll write the length of that person's life. Like, I was born at this time and I died at this time. Rest in peace. Now, the years that was being printed on these shirts was 212 years old, guys. The shirts basically said this person died at the age of 212. And you can already tell by the way I'm saying this. At that time, I was in complete utter disbelief. I was coming straight from America. What I'm taught from where I'm from in America, what I'm taught, the most oldest person alive is 110. Like, what I'm taught, humans only live to be 80, 90, 100 years old. What is this nonsense of somebody living to be 212? I thought it was a mistake. I thought that it was bullshit. But it wasn't. The person actually lived to be 212. And this guy was famous around my village because a lot of people would joke around. They would joke with him, and they would say that they thought he would never die because he had outlived so many generations, and he actually died at 212. So thank you for that question. I'm gonna explain to you why I believe humans age, but I'm just happy that you asked me that question because it made remember about that experience I had. And anybody watching, you need to realize that the media, or basically anywhere you get your information, that is what you use to form your perception of the world. And the powers that be, they are very, very, you can say they're very precise on what they allow you to see because they know the power that knowledge will bring you, I guess. So I'm pretty sure that there's plenty of cases where people are living to be 300, 400, 500, 600, 1,000. I'm pretty sure this is a common occurrence, but because we're in such a controlled environment, stories such as these never reach the awareness of anybody, and they want to keep it out the possibility of the average person. They don't want the average person to think they can live to be 200, but fuck that, you know. Trust me, you can live to be. I can guarantee if somebody, I can guarantee somebody a life of more than 300 years old. I can guarantee, with the knowledge I have acquired, I'm pretty sure that anybody can learn how to live a considerable, large amount of time. So in this video, I'm gonna try to tackle the reasons why humans age. Now, man, to be honest, guys, the reason why we age, it might sound crazy to hear this, or uh, it might sound, it might sound crazy to hear this, but people choose to age basically, and they choose to age out of the need for entertainment. The same way that you eat because you're bored, or the same way that you do things because you're bored, it's the same reason why people age. People choose to age because they are bored with their existence, and they are only bored with their existence because they are not doing things that are synchronized with their thymus gland, okay? They're not doing the things that are aligned with this essence here. And what happens is they get bored and just sabotage themselves. They choose their age. But, you know, in this video, I don't want to just say it like that. Uh, I don't want to put my house address out. Yeah. In this video, I don't want to say it like that. I want to make it scientific to give you an idea of what goes on in the body. Make it spiritual too. Give you an idea of how consciousness works. So this video might be comprehensive. It might be a simple video. Who knows? Let's just see what the universe makes happen. But the first thing I would like to say is that aging, you see, we have been conditioned. Well, I can't say that we have been conditioned. I will say that your ego has been conditioned to experience time the way it does. Originally, if you look at animals, if you look at insects, if you look at birds, they are a lot more present than humans. I'm talking about wild animals, not domesticated animals or animals that you gave man-made food to. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, tell you why I say this, man-made food. But animals, or people that are enlightened, or people that have a high state of consciousness, one factor about these people is that they live life in the moment. A lot of people that experience aging, it is their own doing because they believe in such concepts, and their consciousness with its omnipotence then manifests whatever form that you generate. You know, whatever reality that you create, your consciousness have the power to materialize it. And basically, all around the world, what are people participating in? They're participating in aging. They already got their lives planned. They're already got the stages. I'm gonna go to school, then I'm gonna get a good job, then I'm gonna get married, then I'm gonna have kids, then I'm gonna retire, then I'm gonna live rich. I'm gonna live rich with all the stuff I earned over this whole time, and blah blah blah. This whole sequence You see, the problem is that a lot of people don't understand that anything linear is a illusion. And anything that appears to be a sequence, if you ever observe a sequence, then you are entertaining time in your consciousness. It might sound bizarre for me to tell you this. It might sound like this guy is crazy. But to be honest with you, there is no such thing as happenings in the universe. Nothing happens. You can't say that this caused that. You can't say that there is a doer. You can't say that there are events going on. In the truest sense, reality is very fluid, and reality is infinite. It's forever changing. You can never label it something. You can never call it something because it always changes form. And that is the nature of the universe. The universe is infinite, and for example, this very moment, you might think that you've been on this planet, you might think that everything is real. You might think of some of the memories that you had, but in its truest sense, everything that existed, everything that existed beyond this moment has no true reality anymore. The only true reality is the now, the present moment. And a lot of people have the sabotaging ego program of time running, and they're just constantly in the future, constantly in the past. I spoke about this in my video on how there's two things that your body reacts to. Your body reacts to truth because there's power in truth, there's energy in truth. Your body reacts in a good way to truth, and your body reacts in a bad way to falsehood because there is no power in falsehood. Anything that is false, your body gets absolutely no power from it. This is a universal truth, guys. Nothing exists outside of this moment now. So everything I just said, everything that you thought I just said didn't even happen. You know what I'm saying? But this is advanced stuff, man. I don't want y'all to start thinking about quantum physics and whatnot. But all you need to know is that all that is right now is the unfoldment of creation as the unmanifest becomes manifest. Basically, all that this moment is God essence. It's basically consciousness becoming a form, existing. Man, it's so hard to explain, dog. Damn. But basically, all you need to know is that this moment is constantly replacing itself. The now is the only place that has reality, and people that think in the future or people that think in the past, they're just entertaining programs of aging. Yeah, guys. So like I said, nothing that exists outside of this moment has any reality whatsoever. So if you're thinking in the future or if you're thinking in the past, what are you doing? You're engaging in falsehood. And what this falsehood does, your body doesn't understand it. Your body can't derive any power from it, and you're basically entertaining the program of aging. To be honest with you guys, your body only understands truth. So if the present is going on in your reality, if the now is going on, and you're here contemplating dinner, or if you're contemplating what happened yesterday, do you think that's helping your body? Oh my gosh. Guys, the thing is, you need to learn how to remain in the present, and you need to relinquish all identifications with any type of form that your mind produces. You are not who you think you are. That name that they call you, that's not your name. How do you know that you didn't just teleport here? How do you know that this earth is constantly replacing itself each day and everybody you see is just a new person? You know, you got to stop believing that time exists, because it doesn't. There is no such thing as events. There is no such thing as anything happening. The universe is basically this. This is what the universe is. You think it's a form, you think that stuff is happening, but basically the only thing happening is just the unmanifest manifesting. Okay? That's all that's going on. Okay? So that isn't all I want to talk about, man, in this video. I want to make this video scientific. Now let's go on the scientific side of the aging process. But mainly, the main thing you need to know about is being present and not being present has a lot to do with aging. The first thing you need to do to transcend this problem, because it truly is a problem, is the problem that our egos are generating for us. A thing that you need to do is you need to understand that nothing is linear. There's no step 1, step 2, step 3. There is no sequence. There is no happenings. Everything just is, and there is nothing outside the moment, okay? Just focus on the moment and nothing else, okay? Even if you saw somebody walk across the street, just know that that's the manifestation of consciousness, you know what I'm saying, taking in form, okay? But so a good way to transcend this problem of time, because it's a great problem, you need to realize that there's no such thing as time, and all that's going on is just the universe manifesting itself. Simon, atomic, automatically and spontaneously, the universe is just manifesting, unmanifesting, manifesting, unmanifesting, and you have consciousness. You are witnessing the unfoldment of creation. You are witnessing God essence. You are witnessing the universe as it manifests and unmanifests. Don't allow your ego to bring up all these forms like this is causing this to happen or this is going on. Nothing is going on, okay? So a good thing you can do, always focus on the now. What you can say is this one statement: there is no cause of anything. And that is all it takes to really be in the present. If something happens to you, there is no cause of anything. Remain in the present. There is no cause of anything. If something moves, there is no cause of anything. If something drops, there is no cause of anything. Anything that you give your attention to, your ego will try to identify with it. Your ego will try to tell you what's going on. Like, okay, this person is talking to this person because of this or this. Anything that you perceive, there is no cause of anything, and always know that reality is fluid, that reality is always anew. Okay? So that's some true wisdom right there, guys. But let me head to the scientific portion of this video. Now, aging, guys. One thing that's very distinctive about humans, one thing that's very distinctive about Earth, I'm speaking as a representative for all the other beings that live on our galaxy. We need to accept the fact that we're not the only ones in the galaxy. And I'm just going to give you an idea of how they see this planet. One of the things that strike them most about Earth is that if you look at the way Earth is designed, there is an abundance of water. Like there's hydrogen everywhere. There's hydrogen in the ocean. It's even to the point it's in the air. Okay? And to some of the beings in our galaxy, this Earth is so abundant with water. it is so abundant with hydrogen and these elements that to them, from their eyes, anybody on the surface of the planet is still in water. We call this air. We might think that it's air. We might think that it's dry. But to be honest, aliens will say that we're still underwater because of how this planet is. We think that this is dryness, but really, it is not dryness. There is water present. There is hydrogen present. There is consciousness present. There is life present. And to them, we're still underwater. People say it all the time, all the time, all the time. Humans are made of 80% water, blah, 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 and other stuff. And in this video, I'm gonna share something with you guys, man. That is true in a sense. By the very structure of this planet is a water-based planet. This planet was originally for water-based creatures, but luckily it evolved to what you see now. And to be honest, there really isn't much of a distinction between us and underwater creatures, because to beings in the galaxy, we're still underwater, okay? So just because we're breathing in air doesn't mean that we know what I'm saying, we're land creatures, because truly, there is no land, there is no dry. Earth is a water-based planet. And you can say that humans are water-based creatures. Humans don't originate from this planet, but you can say that, damn, I don't want to limit humans by saying they're water-based creatures. But in this context, I'll say that I'm calling us water-based creatures because water encases consciousness, it encases life. So you can say that we're life beings that use, we're just, okay, man, when I say water, I'm saying the life essence of water. And that's who we are. We're filled with water. We're filled with life. 80% water that they say, the other 20% mass and whatnot. And yeah, we're basically water beings. Here's something that people don't realize, and this is one of the greatest indicators of aging, is when you look at the origins of humans, when you look at how they are as embryos, how they are as they develop, how they are as they're a newborn, if you watch how they progress as they go through puberty, if you watch as they become adults, if you watch and look and see what happens when they become old, one of the things, one of the symptoms of this process that you will notice is that the percentage of water in the body, basically the percentage of life energy, the percentage of consciousness, the percentage of life dissipates. You can say the older we get, you can basically say that aging is basically the evaporation of water out the body. A good analogy is the fruit grape. You know that fruit? You have a grape, right? We what happens when all the life, all the consciousness within this grape is dissolved and evaporated, all the water is evaporated? It shrivels up, right? And it becomes what is called a raisin. Guys, that is basically what aging is. It's your body becoming a raisin. It's your body filled with life, filled with consciousness, a grape, a newborn becoming a raisin. And the main indicator is the evaporation of water. And we're water beings. We're supposed to be filled with life. We're supposed to be filled with consciousness. But unfortunately, we're trained to not be filled with life. We're trained instead to choose aging. So like I said, man, this video is going to be comprehensive. So I'm going to share with you why I say everybody chooses the age. Uh, I wanted this to be for a later video, to be honest, because this is a very comprehensive video. But a lot of people talk about dimensions. There's a lot of people that claim the earth is soon to merge with the fifth dimension. A lot of people are saying that some people are stuck in the third dimension. Some people are saying stuff about the fourth dimension. I know a lot of you have heard a lot of talks about dimensions. And one thing that you need to know is that dimensions is basically qualities of consciousness. You can basically say the higher the quality of consciousness, the higher the dimension. And right now, you can say the higher the consciousness is, the faster that dimension is, the faster the energy, and the lower that consciousness is, the slower that dimension, the slower the reality of that dimension. Now, guys, this is something that people are yet to realize. I wanted to say this for another video, but man, I guess this is how everything is going to come together. The human body is a vehicle of consciousness, okay? You are consciousness, and you use this body to explore who you are. You use this body to explore the infinite expressions of consciousness, the infinite expressions of infinity, or whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it God, you can call it God, whatever you want to call it. And basically, all the dimensions are present right now within this moment. And I need to put this in here right now, but you need to obtain the ability to discern truth from falsehood, because there are a lot of teachers on YouTube, there are a lot of teachers writing books, there's a lot of people writing lectures, talking crap, talking falsehood. They're projecting people's minds in a future date. They're saying the earth will soon merge with the fifth dimension by 2020, or saying all type of end dates, judgment dates, and basically projecting you into the future. And I'd like to let you know that these people don't know what they're talking about, and I don't want to call any names, but if Judgment Day rings a bell to you, or any fear-based prophesized event, like a lot of people talk about that stuff, it's all bullshit. And what you need to know is that the real power that you need to know is that within this moment, all the dimensions are accessible, and you use your body to choose what dimension you attune to. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go in depth with it on how to choose what dimension you want to go to. I will have videos on that, but this video, if I talk about everything, this video might be a long video, and I don't want to talk forever. But what I would tell you is that your body is a vehicle of consciousness, and you do choose where you do choose which dimension you travel to. And right now on the planet, the majority of people are in the third dimension, and there are a lot of people in the fourth dimension, but you know, a lot of people are yet to reach the fifth dimension. And I'm going to tell you the way that I'm going to tell you how this happens. Consciousness is infinite. You're alive. You need to realize that you're infinite. You're consciousness. You're beyond all forms. You're beyond this body. And what I need to what I need to let you know is that the human body is not what you think it is. Like, we are yet to get it figured out. But what I'll say is this, man. What I'll say is this. We choose what dimension we travel to because of the biofeedback our body has with itself. I haven't made a video about this yet, but I'll soon make a video about this. But basically, your intestines is not what you think it is, guys. Your intestines is it's the ultimate energy processor. And believe it or not, your intestines determine a great deal which dimension you tune into. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, your body's ability to gravitate to the different dimensions are not being controlled by the brain up here, okay? This brain up here, even though they talk about all this crap about the pineal gland being the stargate, people are saying that within this brain we have technology that will allow you to teleport across the galaxy and stuff like that. And in this video, I'm talking about dimensions. I'll let you know that this brain up here has nothing to do with tuning you into all these dimensions. The organ that is responsible for generating the frequency so that you can attune to that dimension is, of course, the heart. Yeah, did y'all see that coming? I know you did. The heart is the organ that determines what dimension you gravitate to. And your heart uses the information from your intestines, which is your first brain. Your intestines is your true brain. This brain up here is a bullshit brain, guys. It has technology that is great and all, but because of the ego, this brain is really fucking up humanity. But what I'm saying is that your true brain is your intestines, and your heart uses the information in your intestines to know where to gravitate to. And it goes something like this. Basically, your intestines is a super energy processor. It processes all forms of energy. It was never meant to process food. To give you an idea of the things that your intestines process, it will process sounds, both sounds that you hear and sounds that you actually produce. It will process motion. If somebody watched my video about spinning, if you engaged in spinning, you will see the kind of effects it will have on your brain. You will see the kind of effects it will have in your intestines. All motions are processed in your intestines, believe it or not. And your intestines are supposed to process motion. These are one of the things that your intestines are supposed to be able to process. So if you spin, I know you feel sensations in your stomach. I do too. Another thing that our intestines was made to process is light. Our intestines was made to process light, and a byproduct of light, you can say, is vitamin D and whatnot, but all these things are processed in your intestines. And another thing that's processed in your intestines is the air. And to be honest, guys, there are subtle stimuli right now there are subtle stimuli that are present that our intestines are supposed to be able to process. And you see how I use the word subtle, because these things that I talk about are fluid in nature. They are not dense, they're not physical. These things are very fluid and subtle. And our intestines can't really process this information anymore because right now on the planet we are experiencing a time where humans are putting food in their intestines. And a lot of people believe you need food to live. A lot of people think you need food to grow or whatnot. But to be honest with you, here's the key, guys. Here's the knowledge that I want you to know. To be honest with you, your intestines is the ultimate energy processor. And you as the God, you as the creator, you right now people have lost their memories. People have lost uh, the ancient wisdoms. But to be honest, you there was in the ancient times, even surviving now, there are people that are aware that you can actively choose what frequency you gravitate to. And here's why. Your intestines is a super energy processor and is there to process absolutely anything your body that that comes towards your body. I told you before, I'm going to tell you again, your immune system is mainly found in your intestines. And basically, any type of stimulation, any type of energy that goes down there, once it's processed, all the information now goes to your heart. And your heart then uses this information to generate the frequency that corresponds to the intestines. And you then experience that dimension. What's going on the planet, guys? People are just putting in things without even thinking twice on the effects. They don't even think about the frequency of the things they put in their food. And the end result is the base frequency that is found in their colon, in their intestines, is a third dimensional, dense frequency. And their heart then creates this bullshit basically. The food is, in a way, is forcing us to attune with such a dense reality. And this might sound impossible to you, but just imagine the kind of reality you will attune with if you wasn't putting food down your intestines. Instead, you was putting life, consciousness, sound, uh, beautiful movements, and so forth. If this was the frequency of your intestines, your heart would then know that you are functioning in a high frequency environment, and your heart would then produce the same frequency found in your heart. Your heart will produce the same frequency found in your intestines. Do you know how high light vibrates compared to food? Do you know how high sound vibrates compared to food? Do you know how high movement vibrates compared to food? Because believe it or not, when you eat food, it slows down the movements of the body. So that alone should give you an indicator of what you're doing to yourself, okay? But this is something people don't know, but your frequency is directly related to the things in your intestines, the quality of your intestines. And what's in your intestines determines the frequency your heart produces. And whatever frequency your heart produces, that's the dimension you attune with. And right now, everybody you know is in the third dimension or even lower. And some people are in the fourth dimension and whatnot. But I'll have a video about this later, man. I gotta stay on topic. Now, your heart is directly connected to the pineal gland in the brain. And we, of course, know that I hope you know, but the pineal gland is it can be seen as the ultimate hologram for the body. It encases everything that has to do with your body. And one of the things that are one of the things that will enable you to see the significance of your pineal gland, you will know that out of all the cells in your body, your pineal gland cannot get sick. Even though they say that it get calcified, even though they say that the functioning of your pineal gland has lessened, that organ will forever be intact. If it's not intact, you will die basically, or you'll just be real fucked up. But basically, man, your pineal gland is directly connected to your heart. Whatever frequency your heart is generating from your intestines, because there's a biofeedback going on. Your brain, your intestines, tells your heart what's going on in your reality, because all your intestines' job is to process the information that your body makes contact with. Your intestines is your immune system. Your immune system tells your heart the kind of environment you're in. If you're giving your heart information that has high vibrations, if you're giving your heart love, beautiful mantras, beautiful movements, and so forth, you will gravitate to a higher dimension. But if you're giving your heart low vibrations, your heart will then know, okay, it's time to gravitate to a lower dimension. Okay? But damn, and so your pineal gland is connected to your heart, and this is where your consciousness is. And most of the time, because of the low frequency that your heart creates, that person's consciousness is on a low state. You actually produce the thoughts of somebody in a lower dimension, okay? Because of the state that your heart is in, your pineal gland then assumes a similar position, and that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole body here doesn't even know what words are. It doesn't even process thoughts. This whole body down below my neck is in charge of emotions. And if my heart is in the lower dimension, if my body is producing lower dimensional emotions, what do you think happens to these emotions when they take expression up here in consciousness? Basically, my pineal gland is forever connected to my heart, okay? If I'm in the third dimension, I'm going to be generating third dimensional thoughts. If I'm in the fifth dimension, then I'm feeling fifth dimensional emotions. I'm feeling love, I'm feeling peace, serenity, bliss. But if I'm in the third dimension, I might be feeling jealousy or shame or embarrassment or all types of things. So, where am I going with this? Let me stop it here. Okay, so where was I getting at? Of course, I was talking about aging. And now, uh, there is no cause of anything, to be honest, guys. Everything is perfect. Whatever happens is absolutely the perfect manifestation of the universe, okay? It's the perfect manifestation of God essence. And nobody is neither right or wrong in whatever they choose to do with their life. But aging is basically, you can just say that it's the evaporation of your life essence. Your life essence takes manifestation in the water of your body. There is there is water present in your pineal gland that is holographically connected to the water in all of your body. A lot of people call it the crystal body the because of the nature of the water in your pineal gland. It is so divine. It's so, oh man, it's mind blowing. But the water in your pineal gland is connected to the water in your whole body, and as the water in your body evaporates, as your life essence evaporates, so does the water in here, and eventually, instead of you being a fluid, high vibrating entity that exists in the higher dimensions, because humans are supposed to be in the higher dimensions, but we choose to be in the lower dimensions. Instead of you being in the higher dimensions, we choose the age by being in the third dimension, which isn't even our true home. Humans were never supposed to exist in the third dimensions, but we're existing. So I guess it's perfect. I guess that's what the universe intended. But whatever. We're living in the third dimension, and of course, experiencing energy this low, our bodies need to correspond with the dimensions. In the universe, balance is like one of the ultimate laws of the universe, and everything strives for a balance. So, if your body is experiencing a higher reality, a higher dimension, it's going to attune itself with that higher dimension. You might notice yourself getting skinnier. You might notice yourself losing weight. You might notice yourself having more energy. You might notice your mind working better. These are all the symptoms. I don't want to say that they're symptoms, but whatever, it doesn't matter. This is all the things that attuning into a higher dimension brings. Now, if you choose to attune with a lower dimension, and these dimensions are very slowed down, what do you think happens in the body? Your body has to slow down to balance with its environment. And one of the ways that your body slows down, it evaporates the water. It makes a good analogy will be a free-flowing river, a river that is constantly flowing. That's like a higher reality. It's always movement going on. And then you have a swamp that is just in the presence of sunlight. Over time, if the swamp doesn't obtain any movement, it's just going to shrivel up and just, be non-existent. And the river, as long as there's movement going on, even if the sun hits it forever, it's still going to be existing. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when you attune yourself into the lower dimensions, you do force your body to attune itself with the attributes of those dimensions. And because people are in the third dimensions, one of the things that your body must do, it has to evaporate its life essence. A lot of water has to come out of you. Your body needs to become dense in order for you to experience a third dimensional reality. So, and when your body becomes dense, energy doesn't move slow. Energy doesn't move fast. It moves slow. And before you know it, the process of aging comes into play, you know. So, why do we age? We age because we are misusing the technology of our intestines out of ignorance. We are choosing to age because we don't know any better. And hopefully this video answered your question, but in a nutshell, you determine where you gravitate to, you determine the quality of life that you experience, and people out of ignorance are choosing the wrong type of life. Our bodies, you might think this is a throat, you might think this is a heart, you might think this is a lip, you might think this is a nose, but all these things that we have come to know have higher purposes, higher functions, and one of the functions of the whole mechanisms of your intestines and your gut and all these things are used to attune you into the dimension of your choosing. And a lot of people are ignorant of the relationship of basically what you put into your body and what you experience. You get what you put in it. They say that saying, or they say you get out what you put in it, or And that's basically the human body in a nutshell. If you put death, if you put aging in your body, if you put lower dimensional stuff in your body, you become lower dimensional. You become aging. You become death. Humans are water beings. We're life essence beings. You need to gravitate to life. You need to understand that your intestines is what you use to gravitate to all the dimensions that the universe has to offer. And you need to be aware of the kind of things you put you put into your body. Your number one goal is to become sovereign. Your number one goal is to have more control of what goes down your throat. Because a lot of people, they think they're powerless. A lot of people think they have to eat. A lot of people think they have to eat to survive, but you don't need food. That's one of the biggest lies. You know what I'm saying? You can transcend all these mind forms the ego has created. You know, you're beyond any mind form that might spring out your mind. You are all of existence. You're a consciousness. So, yeah, guys, instead of putting death in your body, put life. You are life. You know what I'm saying? You might be surprised, but something like your own urine has more life than anything the third dimension can offer you. Like supermarkets, restaurants, uh, any place where you can find food, most of the time, the food has a lower dimensional energy. So when you put that inside you, you'll see that attunes you to a lower dimension. You need to attune yourself with more life energy. Attune yourself with what belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there's more videos to come. I'm going to talk in depth on what to drink, what to eat. You know what I'm saying? There is no rules, but just know that no matter what you choose, every action, I mean, it sounds like a contradiction because there is no choice. But, you know, there's a consequence for every action. And the soul, who we are, the consciousness, you might think that life is just happening to you, but really, you are choosing your experiences. You are choosing what dimension you gravitate to, guys. Know who you are. I love you guys. I hope I answered your question. There's more videos to come. Thank you, guys. Subscribe, like, share, comment. There is no cause of anything. Stay in the present. Nothing has existence beyond this moment. This moment is the totality of all that exists. Merge with this moment. Forget about the past. Forget about the future. I love you. There's no cause of anything, guys. Thank you so much.